Hello and welcome to season 3 of the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. My name is Melissa McQueenie, and if a life coach and a therapist had a baby, you get me. I am so excited that you are here, and I just can't thank you all enough. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here since the beginning, thank you. Season 3 is going to look a lot like the end of season 2. A little bit of me, a little bit of guests. I love bringing on inspiring and, women who have stories about survival and, growing businesses and, going after their dreams and all of those things. So I hope that you enjoy this episode, this first day of 2025 in the first season or the first episode of season 3. I wanted to bring you one of my favorite people, and I'm really excited to share this episode with you because this person has been a really close friend of mine the last couple years. We've known each other for a long time, which you'll hear about, but we have been really close for the last couple years, and I am just so grateful for her friendship and for her inspiration. And I am really honored to be running the London Marathon. I'm trying not to cry. I don't know why I feel so emotional talking about her, but she is really special to me. But I'm going to be running the London Marathon in April for MS. And this beautiful human has MS. And I just am so inspired by her because no matter what happens in her world, she never leans on the MS to hold her back in any way. In exactly the opposite. She uses it to live her life to the fullest and give her all to the relationships that she has, the things that she commits to, and she's just amazing. So, and she makes me laugh, and she's just always there for me. So without further ado, what time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. I hope you guys enjoy this episode with the fabulous Brooke Harris. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hello, Brookie Mistletoe is here.
Hi, everybody.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. So, anyone who doesn't know Brooke Harris is you're in for a treat. She's the best in the world, and I'm so excited to have her here. So, Brooke.
Yes. Malikalika and
So
Maka
yeah, let's we have a lot to talk about. So Brooke Harris is a extraordinaire. She is a kindergarten teacher, mom of 3, wife to Sean Muscles Harris, and so much more. Like you just like rock at so many things. And what I love about Brooke is like I am not around you and not smiling and laughing. Like you're just the best. So, and we just got done hosting our favorite group of the
my
year,
God.
21 Days of Fitness, and her name in this group is Brookie Mistletoe. I'm Melly Kaliki Maka Melissa, and we just have so much fun all month long singing songs and horrifying people with our voices.
That's right. And
My voice.
going live on my personal Facebook by mistake. Whoops. Yeah.
So Brooke and I, we met. How many years ago did we meet?
Oh, man. Like,
Like 20?
probably more than that. What?
Probably 25?
Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, probably between 20 and 25 years ago because our mutual
Okay.
friend had graduated law school. That was when I first met you at her party.
Yes.
And so I feel like
Yes.
that was like probably 2004 or something. 2000. Yeah. Somewhere around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So we had a mutual friend and we met and we spent that party together, and then I think that same year we spent New Year's together, and that was my first introduction to Sean and Brooke. Sean is her husband, and they were so much fun. We had so much fun that night.
Yes. But then we didn't see each other for like many years, and we were Facebook friends.
Yeah, yes, we were.
And you, like, even then you supported me because, and when you were introducing me, I was like, aw, because I feel the same way about you. Like, I think you're amazing and I love you so much. And I can't imagine that I've lived most of my life without you. And so I'm very grateful that we reconnected, after we initially met. And it was the weirdest way. Like,
Right? Yeah. So we both were, well, so no, we were not. I was body first
yeah.
and, sent you, I'm sure, some thrilling messages to invite you along board. And you ended up joining, not with
Yeah.
me, but with someone else. And it's fine. We've healed this. We've talked about this many times.
You're fine. I might cry.
but we were on the same team. So basically what that means for anybody who's not in network marketing land, we have the same uplines, but we ourselves are not on the same team. So it was awesome because we got to see each other in team calls and be in accountability groups together. And then I'll never forget the first time we were having that event in Nashville, and you were so nervous. It was a leadership, was it a leader, no, it was a
No,
summit.
it was
It
like a
was a
virtual
summit
summit, but
trip
yeah.
because it was what, 2021.
Yes, and there was no real summit. So it was like our summit. Yes.
Yeah, it was fake summit. So we were going to go to Nashville and have a great time and watch the virtual summit videos. And also, like, our team was really good at not so much working while we were together, but really like living it up and partying hard.
My God. We had a great
It was
time.
fun. Yeah, we had a really good time. But you were so scared, and I totally related because I remember my first trip to a Beachbody event, and it is terrifying to
Yes.
not only fly by yourself, but to be away from your family and like, am I doing the right thing? And we
Mhm.
have we share similar moms who are a little bit more conservative, maybe is the right word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I was so nervous. And I was also worried because you were the only, so I knew people virtually, but you were the only person I had met in real life. And I did not want to be like a sponge to you and like, just like depending on you for everything and annoying. And so I just remember like I got there, I landed in Nashville and I cried. I called Sean. I'm like, I did it. I'm here. And then I was meeting you at the airport and I was just like, okay, play it cool, play it cool. And I was worried, like I just didn't know what the environment was going to be like. Like I had been to basketball camp in 5th grade and I was trying to fit in line for a drill. And this girl was like, oh my God, my boyfriend. La, la, la. And I was like, I have a boyfriend. His name is Jeff. And they were like, we're not talking to you. And so I think I have like lifetime trauma. Thank you, Gino Oriema. From that. So, like, this is how I pictured, meeting new people. Not like horrible like that, but just like it's going to be awkward. And I am the new girl. Like, I've got to figure out, how to fit in with all these people. And it was nothing like that at all. And that was like the most amazing thing about the whole body journey was like, I just expected it to be, I'm competitive. Like, I'm a former athlete, and I was expecting it to be like cutthroat, and it was so awesome. It was so not. It was just like a bunch of we say it's like summer camp, right? Just like a bunch of girls
Yeah.
like reconnecting every time, like we haven't missed a beat, and oh my gosh, so much fun. I would do it 100,000 times
And
again.
that was always my favorite. Like, and I don't know. I didn't know how to like accurately explain that to people when they would come to trips, but it is so true. Like, each trip is different, just like each summer camp
Yes,
year is different. Like, there's different people, there's different dynamics, but it's always supportive and always fun, and it's never like you're sad if someone's not there the next time, but you know that they can come back the next time, right?
right,
Like,
yeah. And there's always new people coming. Like there's always new people to meet. So, oh my gosh, I can't believe like what we've done and how much fun we've had. And,
I
like
know.
it's like you have to live it to know it, but oh my God, it's amazing. And then we've done all the things in
Last
between.
night I realized I never told my kids. Like, I've processed all the body stuff myself, but I never talked to my kids about it. And we were driving last night in the car, and Madikit was like, "Oh, I saw a sign for Punta Cana." She goes, "Is that where the Success Club trip is this year?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "There's
Oh,
no more Success Club." And she was like, "What?"
oh, that's because you're nice and you took your family. My people were like, finally, you're coming to live with us again. You know, like, you're not going to
Yeah,
abandon
one
us.
time. And you know me on that trip, I was like, "Okay, we can go take care of your sunburn."
Again, all day.
That
Yes.
was hard. That was a hard, yeah, yeah.
I
I
give you
mean,
credit.
I'll never regret showing my kids that, but like, yeah, like it's definitely, it was much more fun as adult time.
With adults. But I loved
With
having your family
adults.
there. I just was sort of glad it wasn't my family.
Yeah.
I do love my family, but can you imagine Finnegan? Oh my gosh, loose in Punta Cana. He'd be like in the foam party.
Oh my God. So Brooke, as I said, she has 3 kids and is a kindergarten teacher. So like, and she's often awake in all hours of the night, creating things for kindergarteners. It's like so amazing what you do, Brooke. But so what I mean, there's so many things to talk about with you, but what I wanted to touch on today is this. So, and because we were friends on Facebook, like you said,
Right.
I sort of saw this journey unravel with you from afar, right? Like I
Yeah.
wasn't in your close circle at the time, but I watched it, and I remember like feeling for you and, watching you sort of go through this journey. So I want to talk about that because Brooke is such an inspiration to me for so many things that she does, but one of the things is that she is also living with MS. And I always think, I mean, you're amazing without the MS, right? And then you like
Thank you.
find that out, and you're like, wait, what? She has like a, ongoing medical issue that you're doing all of this on top of it with living with this. It's just unbelievable. So I want to talk about your journey with MS and all of that. So I don't know,
Okay.
share.
All right. Well,
Oh,
first of all, I feel like not guilty, but like very lucky that I'm like able to live the way that I live. And, I appreciate that many people with MS do not have like the life that I have, and live the way that I live. So, I'm very lucky and grateful. And if I had wood somewhere, I would knock on it, but fake
I
wood.
will knock on my window.
Okay. Thank you. That's close to wood.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, backstory, my mother has MS. And so growing up, like as a teenager, she was diagnosed like in her 40s. So, she is like a total go-getter. She requires like less sleep than I do. I mean, she's amazing. And she is always like, she was at my house yesterday cleaning for my New Year's Eve gathering that she wasn't coming to, like she's a total go-getter. But can remember her, and we would be like at Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, and at the end of the day, like she would be having trouble walking, like dragging her leg, and needing to sit down. And that wasn't like her at all. Like she could go 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 go, but that's like the part of her MS that I remember. And she also had a lot of like vision things with like just different, like pink eye, and she had Bell's palsy sometimes, and things like that. But she's like such a good sport. And I remember my college graduation, she had Bell's palsy, and we all like turned to the side like this for a picture so that like one side of her face was smiling. But
Oh,
so anyway, I knew what MS was. My mother has it. And it was December of 2013, and I woke up and my hand was numb, and I sleep with my hand under my pillow, but it's like feeling like it's asleep, but it wasn't going away. And so I called my general doctor and said, this is going on. And they said, come in. And they were like, oh, it's probably carpal tunnel. And they gave me a brace, said to wear it 24/7. And then it was still December, because I can remember being at like a Christmas event at my kiddos nursery school, and I felt like this tingling go like up my arm to my ear, and I was like, that's weird. I don't know anything. I'm a kindergarten teacher. I don't know what carpal tunnel is. But I called again, and they were kind of nasty to me, and were like, if you think you have MS, then go see a neurologist. I'm like, I don't think that I have it. I just, my mother has it. And so I went to a local neurologist, and it's a long story, but I was originally diagnosed with something called clinically isolated syndrome, CIS, which is basically MS with only one symptom. So I had to, I'm trying to think of the process, but I think I had an MRI on my spine and my brain, and they saw what are called lesions, which are like little, they show up as like little spots. And that's, what the MS does. And you don't know like where they're going to appear, and you don't want them to grow, and you don't want to have them. So, when they originally did the MRI, they saw spots, but I also get migraines. So they were like, well, it could be, spots from migraines. So then they did a spinal tap. Do not recommend. And when they did that, that's when they diagnosed me with clinically isolated syndrome. So shortly after that, I honestly can't remember what my second symptom was, but it obviously wasn't a big deal. And whatever it was, that categorized me as technically having MS. And so what I have is relapsing remitting, which means like my mom has the same. So like you can come in and out of it, and like you're fine, some of the time, but you don't know like when a symptom is going to strike. But honestly, I have been so very lucky. Like besides the numbness, like the only symptom I have occasionally is like a tingling. It feels like one of those things that like you put on your scalp, and it goes
Oh yeah.
like a whisk or whatever, you put it on, but
Yeah.
and it travels like down my back. And it's very occasional and sporadic. Like I can't tell you, I think it comes on with stress, but haha, if you know me, like my whole life is stress. And so anyway, that was my diagnosis. And that was January of 2014 that I was diagnosed. And at the time we had 2 kids. And I had always, when I left the hospital with my second baby, I was like, see you in 3 years to all the maternity nurses. Like I definitely wanted to have 3 kids. And then once I was diagnosed, I was like, well, my mom has it, so I can't have any more kids. And they said like, oh, it's not genetic. And I'm like, of course it is. My mom has it. And they're like, it's really not. It's just a coincidence. And
That's insane. So
yeah,
there's no connection
no,
between you and your mom's
no,
MS. And that's what I thought until I think the walk this year when we were talking about it. I
yeah.
was like, oh, I get it. Like that's passed down. But no.
Right. Yeah, because that's why I was saying like, we wanted to have another baby, maybe, like we were undecided. And they were like, yeah, if you go for it, it has, it's unrelated, but if you are going to do that, do it now, because they wanted me to go on meds. And so the reason you go on meds is like, you can't reverse anything with MS. You can't take anything away. You can't improve it. But why you go on meds is to prevent getting future lesions, or for your lesions from growing. And so they wanted me to get on meds, as soon as possible. And that was
Can I
another
ask
thing.
you one
Yeah.
question? It is like you in the beginning when you were saying how lucky you are that you sort of have this um my question is are your symptoms the way that they are because of how early it was detected?
I don't think so. Well, I mean, it could be, but I think it's mostly because of like advancements in medicine. So like when they were telling me about meds, I started freaking out about my mom, being like, my mom has MS and she's never been on a med. Like, why are you pushing it? Why isn't she on a med? And then they told me that, like, I forget what the age is, but once you're over 60 or 65 or something, you don't get any more, like you stay the same, so you don't worry about starting meds then. But they also told me like, don't be freaked out in the waiting room. You're going to see a million people like in wheelchairs and walkers. But that was like before these people, were diagnosed before the medicine, so that was like a big
So it's
discussion. But
come a long way in terms of
yes,
treatment and
yes,
life and all.
yes.
Okay.
So I was lucky, to be diagnosed when I was.
Yeah.
So then, of course, in our crazy lives, we went on this adventure. Like we decided, like, oh, we're gonna have a baby or we're not gonna have a baby. There's a rap somewhere on YouTube about this, but yeah,
Literally there is.
the Fresh Prince of New Hartford rap. So anyway, we couldn't decide, and then we just said, you know what, like if we can't decide, then I guess we shouldn't do this now. So my husband had a vasectomy, and ta-da, along came Finnegan. um, so we didn't follow the rules, which is hilarious because I am such a rule follower, and like not following the rules makes me really nervous. But one time, and thank God, because oh my gosh, if you know our Finnegan, you know what a spirit he is. But and so I got my 3rd baby, and then Another fun fact about MS is like when you're pregnant, you're in what they call like the pregnancy bubble. So you don't really have symptoms, but they worry about after you have the baby, like you could be hit with, like whatever's been saved up over, over that time. And again, I was
Oh,
so lucky. Like I didn't have
that's terrifying.
anything. Yeah, it is. And then I didn't go on meds right away because I was nursing. So, and that was an adventure with Finn. But anyway, eventually, like when he stopped nursing, I went on meds, and I'm on a med called Tecfidera, which is an oral medication. It's a pill I take twice a day, and it's working for me, so I haven't changed it. Like there's a new, you've probably heard of, like you see commercials for something called Ocrevus, which is like a newer medication, and that is an IV infusion that you do. I think it's every 6 months. And that's what they would switch me to, if I were to get a new
Oh.
lesion or anything. But I have my MRIs annually, and so far no changes. So that's good.
So, do you have side effects from the medications that you take?
So yeah, like when I first went on it, it was bad. I was on vacation at Martha's Vineyard, and like one of the side effects that you can have as you're getting used to it is like gastrointestinal stuff. So not TMI, but we were in a house with, I think at the time we had 9 people and 1 bathroom, and so that was a little ugly on vacation.
Oh.
And that was actually, so I forgot to say that I started the med when, Sean had his vasectomy. I started meds. Then we got pregnant with Finn. So then I had to stop the meds. I forgot that part. So Finn was like a little guinea pig too for like pregnancy with whoops on on meds. So, but anyway, so once I went back on it, I was so nervous, and I didn't have that again, luckily. But they say like you should take it with something like fatty, like peanut butter, which I love peanut butter. And so that was like a bonus that like every time I took one in the beginning, I would take like a scoop of peanut butter. But the second time I didn't have the GI, but what I get as a side effect is something called flushing. So it's like redness, like I'll get it like on my face and like up on my chest. And it's just like, it looks like sort of like hives. But it's not bumpy. It's just like looks red. And I take a baby aspirin to prevent that. So most of the time I don't get flushing. I think if I take it like not at the normal time of day, like, over break, if I slept in, if I took it at 11 a.m., I might get some flushing, but no big deal. It's just like itchy and red, but nothing. It's, short term. And again, I am so very, very lucky, to be where I'm at with it. So I don't complain. But
Do you have like an MS community?
no, actually not really, which is kind of surprising because me, I'm Miss Social.
Yeah, you love community.
But no, like when I do the walk every year, there's like a chat for like the walk captains and stuff, but it's more of like planning for that, and I can't keep up with it. I'm too like all over the place. But no, I really don't, and I think it's just because I'm so lucky that it really just doesn't affect me. So I just like, besides the hassle of insurance and medication and all of that, like it's just not a big, luckily it's not like a big factor in my life. But I'm sure there are like big communities out there, and what's nice is like I have like a local, like people I know. So when I was diagnosed, there were a couple of girls around my age that I knew who had MS, and so I reached out to them, and they helped me like figure out a neurologist. And because I had a local neurologist in town, and he was like, I'm on an island here, you need to go to a bigger place. And so Sean and I shopped around. He had a big spreadsheet, and we found one. We found one that was a good fit. But it was like nice to have those people who said, like a lot of the drugs at the time were injectables, and so I was kind of like scared about being on an injectable, like giving myself a daily injection, just because I didn't. It sounded unpleasant to me, but they talked about how like you got a hard spot on your arm, like from where because it's always going in there, and then you have to change to another spot. And so it was just good to hear from those people to know like, okay, well, if I can avoid that, I don't want that med.
Yeah.
And along the way, like people I know have been diagnosed or have been like concerned that they have it. So it's nice to be able to like help those people too, and just say, like, this is what I did, and this is, and some of them have been diagnosed and some of them have not. But like you met a good friend of mine, Lisa, who does the
Oh
walk
yeah.
with you. and she was diagnosed only like a few years ago. But we kind of like lean on each other when we have questions and things like that.
Yeah. My son decided to wait until it was pouring rain to walk the dogs, even though I've been asking for hours. And now he's walking by. So
I hope they're pooping.
I hope it's like literally like shitting down rain. I'm like, why did you wait until now? Why?
It's pouring. I was wondering if you could hear it here.
Yeah, no, it's like coming down. I'm like, wow. And he's like
Yeah.
fully doing the full block, but whatever. It's
A
fine.
good boy.
Yeah, this is why we go in our cars, because when you have three children who just do what they want, you gotta come,
When I
you
was
gotta make it
leaving,
happen.
my daughter was like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "I'm going to the park, to be on the podcast." She's like, "I thought you were going to do that here." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I would have had like 400 interruptions.
I know. Well, it's funny. Like a lot of people do therapy in their cars because you're private.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to get away from, or like limit the distractions or the chance that someone's going to
Yes.
interrupt you. Like I was picturing where I was going to do this and thinking about my family making 14 announcements via Alexa because that's how we communicate in our house. And it's like,
Ma, when's dinner?
take the trash out. Will you play with me? I'm like, oh,
Well, I mean, even now, Declan, all he did was indicate, like, I don't even know what he was communicating to me, and now we've just both gone off on a tangent. But that's like us, Like, that's
because
just
we are
how
so good at.
we are. I like anyone who is not in our fitness group. It's so cute. I had somebody reach out yesterday, I meant to tell you, and she was like, I just got some stuff on clearance. I'm already ready to go for next year. And I was like, oh, I miss it already. It's like the best group ever.
Awesome. When I was going to bed last night, Sean like ordered stuff for Christmas that didn't come until after. And so there was like this light up necklace at the foot of our bed. I was like, what is this? It was like came late for Christmas. So I'm like, perfect for fitness. I put it in my fitness bin for next
Oh
year.
my
We'll be
God.
ready. Yeah.
Well, someone had a great idea, and this is one of those off-topic conversations, but she was like, "You guys should do a Christmas in July."
Ooh, yes, we totally should. We can do
Like a Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville Christmas.
yes, yes. Let's do it.
Brooke
I
Brooke is also a parrot head.
yes. R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett. And when Melissa and
So
I
we
were
always
in
send love.
when Melissa and I were in Nashville, we tried to chase him down because he was performing there. Remember? Some like old couple in Hawaiian shirts were out on the street and they were like, "Oh, we're here for the Buffett concert." And we heard he's going to be at Margaritaville tonight before the concert. And so the two of us were like, in the moment. And then after I was like, he's totally not going to be at Margaritaville. But Melissa was like, yes, we're going. We got to go. We're going to see Jimmy Buffett. And we went and he wasn't there. But we got to hear him from the street. Hopefully we're still
We
connected.
did. We
Can you
did.
hear me now? Mine keeps saying reconnecting. Are you with me?
I
Okay. Okay, good.
I am. So I want to go back to MS
Yeah.
because I feel like I had other questions that I can't remember now because I got distracted. But so you don't really have symptoms from the medication. You feel pretty good typically.
Yes, yes, I do, and like, so I go twice a year to Yale's, which is where my neurologist is, and I used to have an MRI both times, but now because I've been stable, I just have one annually. So like, I just went a couple weeks ago, and that was just for like a checkup, and then I'll go again in 6 months. And so, no, I really like I have.
Exercise. How does
Oh yeah.
how does exercise help you?
So mentally, so much, but it's so with MS, there's no limit to like they're not worried about you, like overexerting yourself or doing too much. It's more the opposite. Like they're worried, you're not going to be able to do those things. So I've like because I don't have physical symptoms, I've been very lucky that I've been able to do, what I want to do physically. And so it's been like once in 2020 when we reconnected and I started doing Beachbody, I, like lost a bunch of weight and got like just a healthier, mindset about everything, about food and about exercise and stuff. And so at that point I started like an exercise regimen, and that's, as you know, Sean and I we did I forget how many days was it? 500, I think, a 500-day workout streak.
That was a lot.
And then in 501, we were like Forrest Gump, and we're like, we're done. We're going to continue. Because I was like, we're going to do 1,000. And I was like, maybe not. 500 was good. But we work out pretty much every day, and I don't have any, restrictions or anything like that. Like part of my physical exam is they time me walking in the hall, and it's so funny because I'm so competitive. And a lot of times I'm wearing like flip flops, and I'm like, oh, why don't I remember this? And they have to like start me again, like no running, Brooke, just walk as fast as you can. But like my neurologist will be like, come on, I know you can go faster. Like, and then I recently found that these like times are on my chart, and I can't look at them because I'm like, oh my gosh, last time I did 14 seconds. What am I going to do? This time. But yeah, so there's no limit on exercise, and they're very like happy with me that I'm able to. A lot of like times when I go, there's a questionnaire, and they'll ask like, are you able to like walk a block? And I kind of laugh like, and because I'm fortunate, not because, you know what I mean? But I just like, yes, I'm definitely able to walk a block. Like, I could walk unlimited as, mentally, I think like they want me to sleep more for sure. And it's funny because people are always on me about stress, like saying like, you gotta, release the stress or have less stress because of your MS. But the neurologist will say like, it's not really a factor that plays into it. Like they say, yes, for your like health and your life, you should definitely try to, reduce stress, but it's not something that's going to like cause me to go, to relapse. However, like sleep is something that they, do worry about. And that has been something that I've been terrible about over the years, but my over 40 Brooke, like can't hang. I can't stay up until like 4 a.m. and then get up at 6 a.m. and ready to go. So I've been better recently about sleep, but not great. Like I rarely get to bed before midnight, but I'm not going to bed at 3 a.m. regularly. So that's good. I'm giving myself a pat on the back, sort of improving.
You're just like, you just give your all into everything that you do.
Thank you. But like you're painting a nice picture of me, but you know that I'm crazy. Like my life is
Like the
very like
best kind of crazy. It's the best kind of crazy. It's like, you're like up making snow globes for kindergartners, or like decorating kindergarten doors, or like building Swifty Christmas trees. I know you think you're crazy, but it's like very kind, good crazy.
I'm crazy. Well, you should tell
It
that to
is.
part of my family. I
They
said,
know it.
you
They
have
know
to,
it.
you just have to know me to get me. But I definitely, and I don't hide it. And it makes me laugh when people are like, oh my gosh, like your life is so, happy, and everything is perfect. I'm like, do you actually see me on social media? Because like, every morning I'm
Yeah.
like, in the car, like barely surviving.
Well, that's what I love about it. It's like you do keep it real. You're like fucking manic mornings with mom. Like, what just happened? Like, I just threw kids out of my car, and now I'm already late to the classroom, but I'm in my car telling you.
And one of the parents like was my friend on, and watches me, and she's like loving everything that I do. I'm like, I promise I get there before your son does. But yeah, my life is just like, I think we're very similar, and we like live life, to the fullest, and we're all about like living in the moment now and making memories and just laughing
Yes.
off, like the bad stuff, or,
Yeah.
the messy stuff, because there's certainly a lot of messy stuff. And, we just like try to laugh it off, and that was something that really came out of the whole Beachbody thing too was just like I flipped, my mindset around. Just I've always sort of been a glass half full person, but like, doing PD and honestly being friends with you, who like you're just constantly coaching people naturally, just to like don't worry about it, like live your journny, right? Like it's your
Yeah.
effing journey, and so and it's true, like, and Sean and I, you're like a like Auntie Melissa in my house, and we're always like, "Oh, don't tell Melissa." Or like, did you see how many scoops of Energize Melissa had in her cup today? Like, you're a member of our family. And side note, my little Finster said a bad word on the bus, and I was like, told Melissa that I think he learned it from her, but just joking, he did not. He's a third child, but just funny. But yeah,
Well,
and
and I like that's what I appreciate so much about our friendship is like I can message Brooke in the morning and be like and like tell her the realest shit like ever, and she just like she gets me and like also just laughs about it, like and it's not I don't it's just real, and I just appreciate that because like I don't want to deal with like bullshit, like I
yeah,
don't and or
same.
or even like that when someone just doesn't get what you're saying and it's just like so frustrating and you're like I don't want to explain it. Like I don't have to explain it to Brooke. Like I just can say something to you and you get it.
That's what I was gonna say. We get each other, and like we have the same like love of like 90210 and
Yeah.
Adventures in Babysitting, and like some like movie quote will come and we'll be like, like we
That's
get
what I
each
did
other.
last night. I watched Dirty Dancing.
Oh my gosh, you did? The other day, Wordle, the word was Mamba. And I was like, I don't think you're going to know this one, Madden. And I was like, but if you watch Dirty Dancing, you would. I bet Madigan knows it.
Yeah.
Like they dance it at the Sheldrake. Like,
Oh my God. So, what was so funny? There was a couple parts that I was like, I have to bring this up because they cracked me up so much about the movie, but it was so fun to watch that movie. And
why
yeah,
were we
like
talking about the little
I
old
was
couple?
laughing because they don't run when they're in the pool. There's no running and leaping. It's just they're standing. They're standing and he carries her. They
Maybe that,
only run in the fields.
or and the Last Dance. But maybe that was my problem. Too much running in the pool in San Antonio.
It's such a good movie.
It is. It is definitely a great movie. But yeah,
Oh my God.
we just have like so many of the same things, and like way back to the beginning of this conversation, and you saying like we've healed, we've moved on, but we just joke about how weird it was that like we were Facebook friends, and I was definitely feeling like insecure about myself and my body, and every time Melissa, who like if you know Melissa, she's 100% genuine, but would send me a message saying like, hey, I'm doing this thing, I think you'd be great at it. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm fat, okay. And I would just like ignore her or be like, no thanks, yeah, thanks anyway, but thanks for buying my Doodlekins fundraiser. um, and so like when I ever decided to join, like I joined with this girl who I work with, who's very low key, and she made it seem like this was very doable, like nutrition thing for me for life, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And then when I found out that Melissa and I were on the same team, I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. La, la, la. And now fast forward to now, and we've been like, even though you're not my coach, we've been like partners this entire time, and it's just something we always laugh about because we're like, we could have made millions together.
And then they would have stolen it all from us. They would have
Yeah,
taken it all.
true, but we could have been to Bora Bora or something, the Italian
I
coast. At least we would have had that. No, but we got some good times in, and it's not over. The good times are still
no.
continuing.
No, it's certainly not. And I always told you I understood because when I signed up, it was the same situation. There was one girl who was super like into social media, and I didn't relate to that at all at the time. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't post like that. I can't go live. I
Right.
can't, do any of that. And then there was the other girl who was not into the business side at all. And I was like, that's my girl. And then I was like, what, 6 months into the business? And I was like, damn it.
I know. And I think both of us like didn't join to actually coach. Like we joined, for
No,
the discount, and like I was just
we're
like,
doing a podcast right now. Like, I couldn't post on social media, and now I'm doing a like, what? Like, that's how crazy life is. You just don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, no. And it just was a natural thing. But I'm so glad that it happened, because I can't imagine what my last 4 years would have been like without you. 5 years? Yeah, 5 years,
Oh,
yeah. Um, but yeah, we've got it. We're still going strong. We still meet up, locally because we can. And that's like another great thing is like, our body community, like we see each other, but mostly virtually and, maybe like annually or semi-annually. But the two of us and, our other Melissa can get together because we're nice and local, which is great. And
yeah.
have been such a great support to me. Like, you haven't mentioned that you're running your London Marathon for MS UK. And that is like, I don't want to get emotional, but it really, really means a lot to me. And like, that I love you so much. And when you told me that, I was like, and again, like, I feel fortunate that I don't have a lot of relapses, but I certainly know the world of MS is not like, what I'm at. And also,
Well,
like, I know I
and
don't know
that's
what tomorrow
because
will
of the
bring.
funds,
Yes.
right? Like
Yep.
that, like a lot of that is because of the
Research.
advances. So
Yep.
if we can make it even better for the next people.
Yep. Yep. And it's also like, you don't know, like I could be fine today and tomorrow, like the same lesion could just shift to another spot, like, and things could be different for me. So, that's another reason why I'm all about like, let's live it up now. And yes, my house is a mess, but we still had a lot of fun, and
Yes.
we went skiing and I got hurt, but it was fun anyway. Um, but yeah, so like I just, I'm not one to sit around and just be like, oh, maybe so. Like, I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it while we can do it, because you just never know what
Yeah,
life
you
is
never
going to bring.
know.
Yep.
And your mom, she's doing well still with it as well?
Yeah, she is. She like recently I mean, she's also 76. And so she has like a little bit of what they call, I forget what it's like. She gets mad when we talk about it, but it's like drop foot or something like that. So like her leg drags a little bit, and it was like a gradual, it started off with, she was saying like when it's cold, and then she was kind of sensitive about it, because we'd be like, Mom, you're dragging your leg, because we don't want her to fall, and we're not making fun at all,
Yeah.
but she was a little sensitive about it. But now, like, it's evident. And but it also comes with age, and she's, like I said, had a much harder go of it than I had. Like, she's had a ton more relapses than I have had. I can't even remember. I think like mentally, that's probably where it affects me the most, and that's because I have problems mentally. I couldn't I got distracted. But when we were talking about sleep, that's one of the things, like, when I fill out my surveys, I will say like the thing I'm most concerned about is like word recall and memory and things like that. And I can remember my high school like locker number and combinations of both my gym locker and my but I can't remember like the move we just did in the workout 30 seconds before. And so like every time I talk about that, they're like, well, you're never going to know until you sleep, consistently like 8 to 10 hours a night. And I'm like, okay, talk to me in 10 years, when just because that's not like a reality for me right now. But
Yeah.
that's the
Well, and
part
but
I worry about.
that's a great example too, right? Like of, if that goal is really important to you, you're gonna make more allowances to sleep, or
Yeah.
maybe cut things back to sleep, right? Like,
Get
it's just
fired.
that's not where you are right now or where you want to be right now.
Yeah, right. And exactly. And when it's like, over like right before winter break, the story, but the world doesn't. And I had been, just burning the candle at both ends too many nights, and I was like dead. Like, I got to work and I was like wanting to fall asleep, and I actually left. I didn't leave school early. It was a half day for students. Teachers had meetings, but I left at the end of the day and took half a sick day because I just couldn't, I was exhausted. And so at that point I was like, all right, lady, like the presents might not be wrapped, and some people might be getting gifts after Christmas, but you gotta like check yourself. And so, and I'm,
Yeah, good for
I'm
you.
lucky because Sean is so amazing and so supportive, but he does worry about me, and like he kind of tries to keep it under wraps, but like when it gets to be like that, he's like, like no more, like you're gonna sleep
Yeah,
and nobody cares if all the presents are wrapped or whatever. Your kindergartners don't care. But it's just a
yeah.
Brooke thing.
Well, you hold yourself to a way higher standard than,
I've,
even your
I've
halfway would probably impress all of us still. I mean,
but
literally, like, I laugh because all I have to do is text Brooke, and I'm like, "Hey, it's somebody's birthday in our virtual gym today," and like 30 seconds later, she will appear with like a birthday banner, like balloons, a sash, and like it takes 1 second. I've learned because I'm friends with her now. I have a birthday sign that just stays in my entertainment center that I can pull out because I
oh yeah,
have to. Like this is the standard. It's up here.
because like we talked about this, like I see that text and I open under my entertainment center. We have like cabinets, and I'm like resistance bands and like birthday decorations, and then I'm like, ta-da! And then like, and there's Sean like looking, smiling, but looking at the floor like, oh my god, like, you're cleaning that up. And I laughed because at the latest birthday we have the same decoration. I was so excited about that. I was like, he's like, yes, yes, I've seen that 20 times. Like it was new for me. Yeah, that's why I love our fitness, because we're like the cheermeisters, like we don't care about, what people think. Like we don't get embarrassed about singing off key, and we don't get embarrassed about like dressing up, as a Christmas tree in public, and so
No.
like
I
I love
I will
that
tell
about us.
you, we were this year was funny though because this is the second year we've done this group, and the year before was mostly like our people, like our friends, our the people that were used to us, who knew us in
Yeah.
real life or beyond. This year we had a lot of new people, and I will tell you that
Uh,
both of us were
yeah.
like what's gonna happen right now? Because
Are
like
they
we
gonna quit?
sing, we dance. They loved it. They loved it.
Yes, they were awesome. And no, so now we've created a thing. We're gonna do like more groups. We can't wait until next Fitmas. Like we're gonna bring in some more groups. Fitmas in July, but yeah, other things so we're here for it. We're here for ideas too. Bring it.
Honestly, it did bring back my love for running groups. Like that was something that gave me joy in my
Yeah,
body journey, was like connecting people and getting that enthusiasm,
yeah,
and it brought me joy. Like I miss it. I'm like,
yes,
this
I
is
know.
sad. Like I don't have anything like a spirit day today. Like I hate my workouts. Like I hate my life. Like
We
I
gotta have a
need some
program.
joy.
I just like every morning of Fitmas, Sean like wakes me up 20 times, and like on the 20th time he'd be like, "Is there a spirit day today?" And I was like, "It's every day." And then I'm like, and then I would like tell him what it was, and he would go and like change his shirt, into a flannel or whatever he was supposed to wear. Like,
That's adorable.
yes, he's a good, he has good spirit.
Like
Um,
if
but
you guys could see, you have to follow Fins Up Fitness so you can see all of. I'll tag all of that. I always say that every week. I'm like, I'll put all of this in the show notes, and then like I don't put any of it in the show notes. But I'm
they
gonna
won't.
put Fins Up Fitness in the show
All
notes.
right, it's really thrilling. I post like once a year. I take all the footage for reels and never create them, but you get to see a glimpse of crazy me. But yeah, anyway, fitness.
Yeah, see, this is where you don't give yourself credit, because like your birthdays for your kids, like I'm like, where did she have, like, how do you have videos on your phone of like your oldest? Because like
Oh,
Kaylin was born in like 2000, well, no, even Declan. Let's talk about Declan.
yeah, they're the same.
2009. I still don't have videos of him on my
No,
phone.
I don't think I have any of Brayden. You're just seeing videos of Finn. I don't have very many of
Okay.
Brayden on
Okay.
my phone, but like sometimes I'll have to go, like into my
Are you
computer.
lying to us about which child it is then?
I don't have videos of Brayden as a baby. I think I had like a camcorder with like the mini cassettes, that went into that for Brayden.
Yes.
And who knows, like that's the type of, me with organization. Like I'm sure I'm sure I have them because I don't throw anything away, but who knows where they are and what I would do with them if I found them.
Yeah.
But like I'll go into my computer and like find, like when Finn was a baby before everything was on my phone, like stuff like that, when Matt and Brayden were babies. Or like when my cat passed away, there I was on the computer, like before on our way to the vet, like putting everything in my Google Drive, so I could make like a tribute video for her. But like that's another thing we love, is like we love photos and videos and memories, and it's like so funny to, it's people in my, and like other parts of my life are like, no videos, Brooke. I'm like, but they're so funny. Like it's so funny to look back and see like
I
what we were doing. For New Year's.
It is.
But I try. Well, we have a joke in my
Maybe
family.
that's what it is, like our YOLO.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not gonna post anything insane, but like, it's just funny. It like have a good laugh about, be able to laugh at yourself and be able to laugh, at the good times.
Yes.
But we do
Yes.
have a joke in my family on one of our family vacations, like family and friends, that when I take pictures at the beach or whatever, they're like, we say it's for funerals and not for Facebook. Like at funerals when they play like the video montage of all the photos. I'm like, so I'm not allowed to put it on social media now, but like at your funeral, I can put it in your
Yeah.
slideshow. So that's what we always joke about, for funerals, not for Facebook.
I love that.
But you and me, everything's for Facebook.
Everything. Well, maybe now you can post the reel of me in San Antonio. Hi, this is Melissa. This is my first drink.
Minus me. That will get me fired. But yes, I will post.
But just me.
Yeah, yes, I will. So funny. We have to tell the funny story about me at work. I'm at work at this like training for literacy, and it was very like professional. And of course, I'm always cracking jokes, and I made some joke about I don't know why, but I made a joke about a margarita, and this person who was like training me was like, do you know Melissa McQueenie? And I was like, what? like and my brain is like, oh my god. And my birthday had just passed, and Melissa made this like amazing video of me, but it was everything I was drinking, and I was like, woo, drinking, woo. And now I'm just like looking at this trainer, this literacy trainer, and like, so this is your image of me. I'm like, but you see, I do a really good job at work too. And I know somebody who knows you, and she's like, who? And we start laughing. But
Brooke, you're very well-rounded.
yes, I mean, I try to be well-rounded, but I still like, I'm so well-rounded that I get hurt doing things like getting off the chairlift skiing. And like, this is 45-year-old Brooke, almost 46. Pretty soon.
Oh my god, your birthday is coming.
Yes, get ready.
I am so grateful that you came on the podcast.
Oh,
the first guest of season 3.
Woo! Knocked my phone off. I was so excited, I just knocked my phone off. Yay! Did I hang up? Did I hang us up?
No, you're here.
Okay, good. But just
No, you're here.
Okay, good. It wasn't showing like a timer anymore, and I got nervous. Okay, let's rewind.
You know what? Like, I gotta say something else that's really cool is that you always listen to my podcasts.
Yeah.
On 2x, right? 2x on speed.
Yes. Wait, you didn't sing the podcast song. We should sing it together.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
What time is it? Time is it? Podcast time.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast
time. Yay! Well, thank you
Well,
for
I
having
love
me.
you so much.
I love you too. I'm giving you Swifty hearts, and I love you so much
I'm going to
too.
give you balloons.
Oh no, on here? Will it work?
Doesn't work.
Okay.
No.
I'll be jealous. But thank
This
you.
is a
I'm
social media thing.
honored. I'm honored to be your guest, and I hope I did you proud.
You are amazing. This was so much fun.
Bye,
I
everybody.
love you.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it with Brooke, and I hope you are inspired by her story. And if you feel like this touched you in some way, please share it on your social media or send it to a friend. I'd love your help in getting this message out to more people, and I appreciate you being here. So like, share, you can rate and review it if you feel so inclined. And I put my fundraising link for the London Marathon in the show notes if you'd like to send a donation to MSUK. I appreciate you and your support. And thank you again, Brooke, for being here. Bye. See you next week.